Hey everybody, what's going on? It is James here, and it's nearly 7 o'clock on August the 16th, and it's PM instead of AM today. So I actually did start shooting an update video for everybody this morning, and then the market started taking off, and I just had to put it on hold so I could do some trading. But I wanted to shoot this video, talk a little bit about Bitcoin, talk a little bit about the market, and also talk about what it takes to be a professional trader, somebody that actually pays their bills with trading. So first, let's talk about trading first, right? We talk about Bitcoin already. Let's talk about trading. Listen, I want to tell you guys something about trading. It's amazing, okay? One of the reasons that people get so worked up over Bitcoin, I've talked about this in past videos, is the fact that they get so emotional because they feel like it's their one shot. It's their one chance in life to be successful, to be wealthy, so on and so forth. And I'll tell you, studies have shown over and over again that people who get one big win in life typically end up broke. They end up basically penniless. There's lots and lots of stories of this where people have gotten rich and famous, or people have won the lottery, and then they've lost all that money because they don't actually understand how money works, they don't understand how to manage it, etc., etc. So what I recommend to people is learn how to, trade the markets. Even if you don't want to be a full-time trader, learn how to trade the markets. Because once you understand trading and once you develop that skill set, that is a skill set that will pay you, or could pay you, for the rest of your life. I mean, what do you really need to be a trader, right? You need a computer and an internet connection, right? You could be disabled and still be a trader. So my point being is, once you understand how to trade, obviously there's still going to be some desire to get wealthy with Bitcoin or whatever. But even if you don't, get wealthy with it, even if you don't put your life savings into it and somehow, win a lottery ticket, you're basically taken care of if you can learn how to trade. So then the next question becomes, well, James, trading seems hard. Statistically, only 10% of traders are profitable. So what would make me different? Well, the reality is trading is actually not hard. Trading is actually a very simple thing. What screws people is emotion. What separates the winning traders from the losing traders is emotion and nothing else, right? You can learn basic technical analysis in a week. I mean, literally, you can buy a book on technical analysis, you can buy a course on technical analysis, you can learn about setups, you can learn about charts, and you can get the basics down in a week. And then over the course of 6 months or a year or 2 years, you can perfect that skill where you really start to learn the little ins and outs, right? There will be some times, for example, where my setup comes in and I take it and I make great money. There will be other times the setup comes in and I'll notice something that I've seen lots of times in the past that says this isn't going to work out this time, and I won't take that trade, right? It saves me. That's just experience. But the reality is the people that are making a lot of money trading, they don't have a super secret system, right? They're using the same technical analysis for the most part that everybody else is using. Now, they may have some of their own proprietary setups, right? Like I have my own setup that I created. But generally speaking, people are using the same patterns, right? They're using bear flags and bull flags. They're using pennants. They're using triangles. They're using Fibonacci levels. They're using, gaps. I mean, all these things that everybody knows about, right? And the reality is because everybody knows about them, that's why they work so well, right? Head and Shoulders is a great example. If you've got 1 million people that are all seeing the same pattern going, okay, well, that pattern says price should go up. Well, they buy the token or the asset or the coin or whatever it is. And of course, price goes up because everybody just bought it, right? Self-fulfilling prophecy. So the reality is, nothing about me makes me special where it's like, okay, James has some kind of superpower where he's a trader. You can be a trader, right? All you got to do is spend some time to learn. It took me 2 years. I mean, no bullshit. I'm going to blow smoke up your tail and lie to you and say, okay, you're going to be a master trader in a week, right? I'm not a master trader either, but I do okay, right? It took me about 2 years to get to the point that I'm at now. 2 years of studying and working at it and trading on a regular basis, to get where I am now. If you do have a full-time job and you've got responsibilities and a family and stuff like that, it may take you 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. It may take you longer. But you have to ask yourself, how awesome would it be to have a skill set that no matter what, right, or within reason, I mean, there's always some weird thing where like an EMP goes off or something, but basically, no matter what, you'll have an ability to earn a living. Even when I had a job, my job, the best job I ever had was a union job. It felt pretty safe, right? Felt very secure, didn't think a lot about the future because I was like, hey, I got this great union job, who cares? And then one day I came to work and they said, hey, we're cutting everybody's pay 40%. Sign on the dotted line or go home. And I basically said, okay, well, I'm going home. I'm not going to do the same job for 40% less pay. You've lost your mind, right? And that's literally what spurred me to start my own company, right? If it hadn't been for that, I'd still be working in a call center, making 70, 75 grand a year. It's that simple. But I got the rug pulled out from under me. So you may be comfortable right now in life. You may say, I've got a good job. I've got this going. I've got that going. But nobody knows where the economy is going. Nobody knows where jobs are going. Nobody knows what automation is going to do to things, right? So for me, trading has given me a lot of peace of mind because I know that, even though I do have a business and everything, if that business ever goes away, I could be, I'm in my late 30s now. I could be 65 years old and I can still trade. I can be 75 years old. I can still trade. I can be 85 years old. I can still trade, right? So trading, it's awesome. Let's talk about the market real quick. So Bitcoin is actually it's trying to trap people, right? Whether you're a bear or a bull, I don't know where the trap is at. I don't know who's getting trapped yet. It's been a crazy day. So first off, if you hear my cat meowing, he wants outside, so I apologize for that. But we did put in, I shot a video this morning talking about this W trying to form, and now it's, of course, it's formed. We did actually put in a W. Let me get rid of some of the stuff here so it's easier to see. This is a 4-hour chart, came down, came up, came down, came up, broke the neckline, and actually closed above it. That was a confirmed W. All right, I apologize for that. There's probably going to be a weird break in the video. I had to go, my cat was going absolutely bonkers, so I had to go get him. But we did close above the neckline, and it looked bullish. I didn't go long or anything. I didn't see any other reason to go long, so I was just kind of waiting. And, of course, now we've dumped back below that neckline. I think, and I could be totally wrong, but I think more than anything, this was just an overreaction to that Backed launch. So if you haven't heard, Backed has basically been approved and supposedly going to be launching their product on September 23rd. That's one theory why price pumped. I think the other theory that I could see this being the case too, if you look, we had a $439 pump here, and to me, it looks a bit like a pennant or a bull flag. And if you believe that was a bull flag, maybe the back news had nothing to do with it at all, because if we copy this over and we take it from our low point here, our breakout was almost perfect. Almost perfect technical analysis on that breakout. I actually went short right over in this area and I closed it 10 minutes. You talk about getting close. 10 minutes before that pump started. So I was actually looking for a bark to form where this came up, did some of this crap, and then came back down. But it looked, I had my reasons. I was talking about this with my private students. It looked like we were getting ready to go up, so I jumped out of the trade for a very small profit, and it did. It shot up. Since then, this again just looks like it's forming another bark to me, right? If we go out to an hourly chart, this looks very, very similar to what we got over here. Up, chop, down. Up, chop, down maybe? Who knows, right? The reason I said that this thing looks like it's laying traps is because a lot of people have started to get bearish after all of this. And I don't know. I don't know if it's time to be bearish. I'm a little bit confused right now. There's so many mixed signals. I tend to lean bearish because it's been my bias for over a month now. But when I look at this on a 4-hour chart, there's mixed signals. This, all was lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, blah, blah, blah. Lower low, lower high. Okay, higher low, higher high. This looks like a trend change. See this? It looks like we're trying to turn the corner. So now what's going to tell me is, maybe we come down to this support and then bounce off of it. Maybe that's what's going to happen, right? Maybe we come down here, bears get trapped going short, and then it bounces and just goes up. Definitely possible. Of course, the reason I say there's mixed signals is because if I turn the EMAs on, we're getting ready to have a cross. Let me just turn everything off except the EMAs, and we'll turn everything off except the 50 and 200. We're getting ready to have the 50, which is this orange line, cross the 200, which is this yellow line. That's called a death cross, right? When it goes up, it's a golden cross. When it goes down, it's a death cross. And if we look what happened the last time we had a death cross, it was back here around around 10.5, and it took price all the way down to about $9,100, right? A $1,400 drop. And if we look at the last time it crossed before that, you see it doesn't cross very often. Look at this. We're way, way back here. Last time it crossed, we're still going back. It looks like the last time, maybe I'm missing it, I don't know, but it looks like the last time we had a death cross was in September of 2018 when price was around $6,800. And of course, we know what happened next, right? It just stayed underneath it. We dumped, it continued, stayed underneath it, came up and touched it, but never broke above it, and finally broke above it in February, and that's when this bull market, or this bull rally, really kicked off. So the fact that we're getting ready to dip back under it, super duper bearish, right? If we turn the EMAs off and we turn the 50 moving average on, the daily moving average, that's way up there at right around $10,816. We're well underneath it. That's, again, a very bearish sign. So I'm still a bear, right? But I don't like that candlestick pattern. That's throwing a wrench in my short. And what I mean by that is I want to be short right now, but I'm not. I'm waiting for some type of confirmation to see what's going to happen. Because, again, if I turn off all these indicators and I'm just looking at candlesticks, this is not bearish. This is bullish, right? That is a W. That is a trend reversal, okay? So the question becomes, is a larger trend reversal where we're suddenly going to go up and try to punch up to maybe 10.8 or 11.1? Or is it a short-term trend reversal where, you know, this was the trend reversal, a little dead cat bounce, and now we're going to go back down? I do not know. And because I do not know, and I do not have a good idea, I've just got to wait until the setup comes in, right? If we can break south of this $10,185 line, which, by the way, if you're wondering what that is a weekly support level, okay, right there at 10,185. The red lines on my chart, those are actually monthly support levels, okay? So like 10,304, that's a monthly level. We did find support right here on that. If we break under that, not too, that doesn't really say a whole lot to me. It doesn't mean I can go short because we still have this line down here that's an important line in the sand. And we have another monthly close just under that. If we take a look, it is so difficult to really get this thing to scale in. Blow it up a little bit. Okay, so if we look here, we actually did have a monthly close right here for July. It closed at $10,087. So that is a very important level as well. So basically what I'm looking for as a bear, okay, what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking for a break and a close underneath $10,085, okay? Because to me, that would signal that we are indeed ready to go down and make a new low on the weekly, okay? So basically underneath this level here. Anything above that, I'm not going to be comfortable going short. Does not mean that I'm suddenly going to turn into a bull and go long, okay? I only trade setups. I don't trade on gut feeling. I don't trade candlestick patterns, meaning this. I don't see a candlestick pattern and suddenly go, okay, I'm going to trade, right? If I see a candlestick pattern, I still want to confirm it. I still want one of my setups to come in. Do I miss trades because of that? Absolutely. But I also avoid losses, right? And that's really what trading is about. It's just as much about avoiding the losses as it is getting the wins, right? If you are chasing every single trade and every single, oh, that might be this or that might be that, you're going to win more often, but you're going to lose more often too. And oftentimes the losses are going to outweigh the wins, okay? So I'm still waiting. We need to close under 10,085 for me to feel really good about being short. We also need to see this 4-hour death cross happen, right? There's about $26 in between these, so a lot can happen. If this price suddenly pumps up above that, it's going to cause that to, change, right? That orange line will start moving up and away from that 200 yellow line there. So interesting stuff. On the RSI, we've got lots of room to grow, right? This looks like an uptrend on the RSI as well. If I draw a ray on this thing, watch this. See that? That is an uptrend. By the way, if you don't do this, one thing about RSI, people see RSI and I've had people in the past say, oh, that's such a newbie indicator. That's ridiculous. RSI is one of the best indicators there is. And one of the guys that I learned trading from, who had over 30 years experience, this is the only indicator that he uses, moving averages and RSI. Okay, now he doesn't trade crypto. He's a stock guy, a Wall Street guy. But all kinds of stuff you can do with RSI. Yeah, they oversold and overbought. It's awesome. It's also great for finding divergences, and it's also great for spotting trends, because sometimes the price will be moving sideways, but you'll be able to spot a trend in the RSI. For example, when I went short this morning and I got out 10 minutes before the pump, it was because I had a downtrend in the RSI that had actually been busted. In fact, let me just show you. All right, so this was actually my trade. This was what I told my group, right? My private group. I went short over in this area. 10,160 is where I actually went short at, and it started to drop down. And we had this trend line in our RSI, and once we broke above that trend line, I was out, right? So I went short at 10,160, closed the trade right around 10,1. Not a big winner, right? The fees on that ended up being about a $25 per Bitcoin winner. Not a great trade by any stretch of the imagination. Certainly a lot better than a loss, and it all, and I was able to save myself because I was following this RSI trend line. And if you're wondering what happened next, well, that was at about 10 a.m., 10:05 a.m., and just a few minutes later, we actually got this. Bam, right? $200 pump. If I hadn't jumped out of that trade right here on this red candle, if I hadn't jumped out there, I would have got stopped out of that trade for a fairly big loss, right? Not good. So RSI is an awesome tool. I certainly recommend people use RSI in their trading. But going back over this chart, this is what I'm looking at as far as the daily timeline, as far as the monthly, the Fibonacci levels and all that stuff. I'm not going to go into that today because I've been going into it every single day and the story hasn't changed, right? We're still trying to put in the giant M on the weekly. I'm still watching the trend lines. I'm still watching the total market cap bounce around between the 23 fib and the 38 fib. Like I said, just nothing has changed. We still got the gap down around 8,500, etc., etc. Right now, what I'm interested in is I'm interested in the 5-minute chart for day trading, and I'm interested in the 4-hour chart for swing trading. And on the 4-hour chart, I want to see this thing close underneath $10,085, and I want to see this 4-hour death cross happen, and that way I can open a big old short and ride that sucker down, hopefully to fill this CME gap down around 8,500 bucks. Okay, I'm not going to be going long down at that area, or at least right now I don't plan on going long at that area. That could change, but I would definitely be looking to close a short. If I open a short up here on a swing trade, I'd be looking to close it down that mid-8 range. So that's me. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember, I am literally some guy sitting in a spare bedroom. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice. Nothing in this video is trading advice. You should always do your own due diligence and seek out professional investment advice before making any type of investment. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, you can check the description for links where you can follow me on Twitter, TradingView, and also join my free Facebook group. This is James. Trade safe.